Hello, and welcome to this Eureka webinar in association with Southco. My name is Paul Fanning, and I'm editor of Eureka. The subject of today's webinar is Rotary Latch Systems, and it will be presented by Cindy Bart, Global Product Manager for Southco. Before I hand over to Cindy, however, I should just say if you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into the box on the right-hand side of your screen, and we will endeavour to answer them at the end. If we don't have time to ask them at the end, then we will hand them on to Southco and they will answer them for you offline. And with that, it just remains for me to hand over to Cindy. Cindy.
Great. Thank you, Paul. And welcome, everyone. I'm really excited today to share the world of rotary latches with you. But first, just a little bit about Southco. Southco is a global manufacturer of access control products, and we have 15 locations worldwide. We're the touch points on our customers' end products, so we help them to differentiate themselves from their competition. To support this, we have over 100,000 standard products. These are products available in our handbook and available for sale today. But we also have a large quantity of custom products that are specifically designed to suit customer needs. Southco has more than 150,000 customers globally, including top automotive and electronics companies. And our exceptional staff of field and sales engineers, as well as customer service personnel, are available to help. So if you go on our website or you look in our handbook and you look at products and you can't find the exact thing that meets your needs, please contact us because we're really good at helping you figure those kind of things out. I will provide that contact information a little bit later on in the presentation. So now on to rotary latches. So first, what does a rotary latch consist of? A rotary latch is really two pieces. It's the latch mechanism itself and the striker. Think about your car door, exactly same type of system. You have a striker, usually on the frame of the car, and then a rotary latch, which is embedded in the door. And when you close that, the rotary mechanism securely holds itself around the striker in two axes. As you can see in car doors and a lot of other applications, rotary latches offer an option it's very compact, so it will fit through thinner profile doors, really minimizing that protrusion into the enclosure. And then a simple pull or push on the release lever of the rotary latch allows the latch to disengage from the striker. One of the big benefits of rotary latches is push to close convenience. You slam the door, you don't have to do anything else. No turning or anything else to secure it. It's fully secured just by slamming it. And then these also offer remote release when they're connected to an actuator via cable or rod, which I'll go into more detail. So this is an example of a rotary latch and a striker. It's from an animation that we have available on southco.com. So please visit there if you'd like to see the full animation. But as you see from the first view, the latch is open and the pawl portion is disengaged from the striker. As the rotary latch moves closer to the striker, as the door is closing, the pawl begins to engage with the striker. It just starts rotating around that edge of the striker. And then once the door is fully closed, the pawl is fully engaged around the striker and the latch is locked. Now let's talk about a full rotary system. Same thing with that car door where you have a rotary latch embedded in the door and you have the striker on the frame. How do you get it open? You have an actuator on the outside. So the three main components of a rotary latch system are the latch, the actuator, and the cable. Again, push to close convenience, real big positive for these type of systems. So very easy for the end user. The system offers remote actuation, so that allows the latch and the actuator to be positioned independently. And a lot of the systems have a wide range of high strength and reliable performance in demanding applications. We have, as I'll go into a little more detail, we have products that are lighter duty, heavier duty, that'll meet outdoor applications and ones that are specifically designed for indoor. There's a variety of security options as well, concealed latch point, the keyed access, so you have to have a key to get into it, or electronic release. And one of the big benefits of a rotary latch system is that the hidden latching eliminates obvious pry points. So if somebody's trying to break into your application, it's hard for them to tell where the actual rotary latch is. Here's another example of a rotary latch system. I mentioned the car door, but this kind of shows it on a cabinet. So you have the front of the cabinet where you can see the actuator, and then I have a view of the rear of the cabinet, has the rotary actuator at the top and the rotary latch further down on the door panel, and they are connected via a cable. To actuate it, you pull up on the handle. The rotator plate on the back of the actuator rotates, so that pulls on the cable, and when that pulls on that cable, it pulls on the trigger, releasing the rotary latch. So talking about some specific application features when you're looking at mechanical rotary latches, one of the things to consider is the latch to striker misalignment. If you have a very large and flexible door, dual rotors or double rotors, as you can see there to the right, is a good solution, because as you can see, it gives a lot of room for the striker to make sure that it ends up going into the mouth of the rotary latch. Some of our larger single rotors are good for smaller doors, but that do have some flexibility as well. But our smallest rotary latches are really best for rigid applications because there's not a lot of tolerance there. Now talk about single and two-stage latching. This is something that actually you see every day. Single stage makes sense. The latch is either unlatched or it's fully latched. Two-stage gives you positive latching at low closing forces. I'll use the example of your car door again. Often when you push your car door, maybe you don't push it as hard as necessary for it to fully lock, but you'll see that when you push it even with a lower closing force, that the rotary latch does engage around the striker. And you can see that there's a gap in between the door and the frame of the car, a side frame of the car. You could put your hand in and you can pull on the side of the door, but you wouldn't be able to get it open because the rotary latch is actually locked around the striker, but not fully seated. So the door isn't fully closed. So if you give it one more push, then it continues and fully locks around the striker. So there's an unlatched position, what we call a secondary latch position, and then a fully latched position. And the purpose of this is for security, to make sure that the door is still held in place even at low closing forces. Looking at different actuation methods, a lot of variety there. Cable pull, where you can attach a cable to your trigger. There's a hand actuation where you leave an opening that somebody can just put a finger inside to be able to push on the trigger to be able to release it. And then direct actuation, where you could attach a rotary actuator that could push on the bumper there on that latch to the right and be able to release it. Now, all those across the top are what we call single lever. There's one release point, one trigger that will release the latch. But there are solutions with dual levers as well. So those offer two release points. The positives of those is you can attach cables to actuators, and you could release the same rotary latch from two locations. There's a wide range of working load solutions from smallest rotary latches that are around 2,600 newtons in strength to our largest ones, which are in the range of 18,000 newtons. Vibration dampening bumper. This is something that Southco has added to their rotary latches over the years that has been a real benefit to our customers, because it eliminates vibration and rattle concerns for those applications that are in motion. What it does is when the striker goes into the latch, the striker is pinched between the bumper and the underside of the pawl. So it's basically holding that striker in place so that it doesn't have a lot of movement or rattle. We have a wide range of solutions that offer those kind of bumpers as well. And then looking at material and finish, wide range of steels. Steel's going to provide your heaviest duty, your strongest solution. But those are available in a variety of corrosion resistant finishes. So depending on what your corrosion resistance requirements are, there's a lot of options. But then for maximum corrosion resistance, you should look at stainless steel. Stainless steel is great for marine applications, those kind of products that really need that high corrosion protection. Looking at some safety requirements. Here in the U.S., we have a federal motor vehicle safety standard that governs door locks and door retention components that are used on passenger vehicles, like your car door, for example. And what these require is that the latch that's used has two-stage latching, which we talked about a short time ago, and specific longitudinal and transverse load requirements. What that means is the strength has to meet certain numbers. Transverse is where the striker is pulled out of the top of the latch, and longitudinal is where the striker is pulled through the latch. So the FMVSS 206 standard has certain numbers that those have to meet in order to meet those standards. And Southco has a couple of options that we have tested that are capable for that. There's also a European standard for fire resistance in the railway industry that our rotary latches have been tested against. And they've passed testing with what's called an E60 rating. So the latches stayed closed for a minimum of 60 minutes. And that's with gradual increase in temperature from 20 degrees to 45 degrees C. Now we'll look a little bit at our electronic rotary latches. These offer the same push-to-close convenience as our mechanical rotary latches, but with electronic release. So our R4EM products are gear motor-driven solutions, and they're preferred over a lot of competitive solenoid solutions because they offer higher electromechanical release load as well as minimum power draw. These are available with mechanical override. So should you have a power failure, there's still options to be able to open your latch. They're designed to accommodate a variety of different access control systems and are available with latch and door status sensors. So those can provide remote monitoring for your application. A little bit more about electronic rotary latches. They're available in a wide range of solutions. And again, this is one of the big benefits of these is it hides the latch point. I have an example here of a medical cart. There's no handles on the outside. You can't really see where the rotary latches are. And these are available in 5, 12, and 24 volt solutions. So you'll fit any sort of customer application. There's a range of maximum electrical working load solutions. They're in plastic, steel, and stainless steel. So depending on what the corrosion resistance requirements are. And we have solutions to meet light to heavy duty strength requirements as well. There are options that provide voltage regulation. Some of one of our newest options is a really compact design. So for those applications that really don't have a lot of room and need to be fit into a very small space. And then we have tamper resistant housing options. You see there at the bottom, those two rotary latches. One of them has a taller head on it than the other. And as you can see, what it's doing, it's protecting the top of that pawl. So it protects it from accidental closing. So if somebody walks by, they won't hit that pawl and close the latch because it's protecting that from happening. And then we have indoor and outdoor solutions, and our outdoor solutions are IP rated to make sure that they are going to meet any customer requirements you have. Looking at mechanical rotary actuators, we have flush or surface mount solutions, and flush mount or low profile. The benefits of that is that they limit snag points and optimize your industrial design. The surface mount versions minimize protrusion inside the cabinet or application, so that reduces your internal footprint. Looking at actuation points, direct actuation, like this trigger pull example I have here, shows where the actuator and latch have to be mounted adjacent to each other. So you see that lever sticking out from the bottom of the actuator, that just needs to be mounted near enough to a rotary latch lever that when you pull up on the handle and that trigger pulls up, it'll pull on the lever on the rotary latch. Now, you can have the actuator and the latch on different surfaces. You just have to make sure that they're aligned properly. But even easier for some single or multi-point actuation is a cable pull option. All of our actuators are available with cable pull solutions. So you can attach a cable, you can attach one cable, two cables, some of our solution, even more cables than that, so that you can attach multiple rotary latches to the one actuator to be able to release it with one pull. Looking at panel access options, there's push, pull, or squeeze to actuate, And as I mentioned, single and multi-point solutions. But then we also have a cable splitter, which is in this top view here, where you can add additional actuation points. So if you have an actuator that can only attach one cable, you could attach it through this cable splitter to be able to release 2 rotary latches. And you can do it this way, where the one actuator goes to the 2 rotary latches, or you can do it the other way, where one rotary latch is attached to 2 actuators. In that solution, you might have a panel like on the back of a vehicle that you'd like to be able to open from either side. So you can attach one actuator on one side, one actuator on the other side, and be able to open up that back panel no matter what side of the vehicle you're getting out on. Security, a lot of different options for the mechanical, a lot of different key locking options, as well as non-locking solutions. And then we have solutions that are plastic, steel, stainless steel. So depending what kind of environmental factors you have to consider. And we have a lot of options that are sealed as well. So sealed against dust and liquids. Looking at our electronic rotary actuator. These are our ACEMs. They are gear motor driven solutions, just like our R4EMs. They also offer that high electromechanical release load and that minimal power draw, and these enable electronic access control when they're combined with one of our mechanical latches. A couple solutions here to the side to just kind of show you how that could be done. This is a really economical option for achieving electronic actuation. These actuators offer a range of solutions, different travel options, different max electromechanical working load options, and indoor and outdoor solutions. So we have actuators for these they're IP rated as well. And again, that hidden latching point really eliminates those obvious pry points for good security. Talking about the cable that connects the actuator to the rotary latch. We have a couple options. One is a straight line of sight. It's really just a cable itself with a couple of fittings on the end to be able to attach to the actuator and the rotary latch. And these are used if the cable is routing in a direct pull line between the actuator and the rotary latch. So that's where there's no bends or any concerns for accidental opening, something catching on the cable, for example. But if there are any of those, you want to go with protected cable routing. And what that is there's a conduit around the cable. So that allows you to mount that conduit, and then the cable interior to the conduit will be able to slide back and forth freely. So these are good when your cable routing requires bends or cable management brackets. You need to mount it so it doesn't move around, or what's called a spring assist. You see there at the bottom, I have a couple of cables. They're basically the same cable, but one has a spring on the latch end and one does not. What that does, if you have a cable that's particularly long or has a lot of bends in it, sometimes it's difficult for the interior cable to return to the rotary latch after the actuator has pulled on it. And what that spring does is it helps that interior cable to return back to the rotary latch so that it can lock securely. These also provide protection from accidental opening. So if somebody pulls on it, it's usually locked in place. You can't really affect that interior cable, and it's great for routing through bulkheads. One of the things that people have found confusing or difficult is how do you configure your cable for your system? Southco has really done a great job of helping our customers to meet those needs. We now have a cable configurator available on our Rotary homepage. You just click on that cable configurator, you download the Excel file, and you fill in the blanks. 1 through 5 have drop downs. 6 and 7, 6 is just a yes or a no, whether you want a spring or not. And 7, you can put in whatever length you want your rotary latch to be. That will automatically configure what cable part number you need for the system. It also gives you bits of information as far as for this particular system, what's the minimum cable length, the minimum bend radius we recommend, and bits of other information. We'll also tell you what retaining clips are needed to attach the rotary latch to the cable or the actuator to the cable. Recommend any mounting brackets for mounting the conduit, And I think even more importantly, at the bottom, it gives you a stocked sample cable part number. So this is a part number that we keep on the shelf in all regions. So if customers need to prototype a system, they can order this part and they can use it to prototype. It's longer than what the customer needs, but that would not have a problem because you can always loop cables. But this just gives you an opportunity to buy an off-the-shelf part that's readily available to prototype your systems. And this is an example of putting together a system where there's exterior and interior release system. You can use our actuators and cables and rotary latches on just one door where you want to be able to access it from the outside and access it from the inside via one rotary latch. So as you can see for this particular actuator, you can connect the rotary latch to the rotator plate. This is one of the ones I showed earlier. And then you can connect the interior actuator to that same rotor plate so that when it moves, you can release the rotary latch from either one of those actuation points. So rotary systems are useful in a wide range of industries and applications. Over the years, I've seen it used in almost anything, from aerospace and automotive, really big in general enclosures, HVAC, industrial machinery, marine, because we have those great stainless steel solution. R4EMs are used very heavily in medical instruments because they offer that electronic release with keypad or a key fob. Off-highway, very, very useful in off-highway, and especially a lot of our heavier duty applications are used there. And as I mentioned, rail, we've already tested our rotary latches to rail fire standards. Self-service point of sale, this is becoming bigger and bigger. The kiosk where you can go pick up things you've ordered, pick up drop-off boxes. R4EMs are heavily used in there too. And then trucks, both from light duty to heavy duty trucks as well. So just real quick, I put some examples here of some application qualifiers that you could use to try to determine what the right product is in our rotary line. Like, what's the panel size, weight, material, and space constraints. Those are all important in deciding what size and strength of the product you want to use. And then the application strength. How durable does the customer need it to be? And potential abuse loads. Years ago, there was a situation where a customer had designed in one of our actuators, and then the end user was actually using that actuator as a step to get on top of the vehicle. Well, that actuator wasn't designed for that. So these are important things to consider. What would the end user be doing with the product, and how might that affect how the system needs to be designed? Obviously, the number of latch and actuation points are very important. Mentioned some environmental concerns, obviously, both rain, snow, dust. So what are those requirements? Are there appearance requirements? Are these Class A appearance, or is that not really a major consideration? I went over a couple of the regulatory requirements, but there's a lot more automotive, aerospace, and rail applications that might need to be considered. And then security demands, locking, non-locking, hidden actuation, electronic actuation. What is best for the customer application? So if you visit Southco.com, you can find more details about our rotary latches on the Rotary Latching Systems page. And this is under products, and you select latches, and then you'll see the rotary latch systems. And once you go into that, you'll get to see a wide range of options on rotary latches, rotary actuators, and the cables as well. We do have a great resource center at Southco as well, and this gives you a lot of good information. There's videos, there's brochures, there's specific articles about industries, about specific products to see how rotary systems might be used in different environments. And we do have a rotary latching systems brochure, which gives you a wide range of the products we have available and how these might be able to be used. So in conclusion, why use a rotary latch system? Well, it offers secure hidden latching with push-to-close convenience. There are solutions to fit a wide range of diverse applications. There are solutions that will be capable to meet specific regulations like US motor vehicle safety standards or European railway standards. They offer flexible security from hand actuation to keyed operation to electronic release. And Southco provides all elements of a complete rotary system, from mechanical, electromechanical rotary latch, mechanical, electromechanical actuators, the cables that connect the two, strikers, brackets, anything you need to be able to finish up a complete rotary system. Our rotary products are an ever-expanding line of solutions, and our goal is to provide innovation within what is really usually a traditional product line. If you have any product-specific questions concerning the content that I've provided today, please feel free to email me at cbart@southco.com, or any general inquiries can be directed to our customer service team at info@southco.com. Alternatively, like a lot of websites, we do have a chat function on www.southco.com, so feel free to use that, and you'll be able to get some of our excellent support. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cindy. That's great. We do have a few questions. If I could start with this one, are there mechanical actuators available with electronic lock and unlock?
Absolutely. That's something that a lot of our customers are using more and more now, so they can use the key fob on their vehicle to be able to access the actuator. We do have a couple of those available, and basically all we've done is mount an electronic actuator to the back to allow it to electronically lock and unlock via a key fob. So exact same actuator you would use mechanically, but also will allow you that electronic lock and unlock option.
Thank you very much. Next, are there solutions that combine a rotary latch and actuator in one product?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great option too, because some customers don't want to have to figure out how to connect the actuator to the rotary latch. Maybe they have a very simple system. We have a couple of solutions with that. One that's a little lighter duty, one that's a little heavier duty, but basically it's just one of our regular actuators. And what we've done is we've mounted one of our rotary latches to the back of the actuator. So when you pull on this handle on the actuator, it releases the rotary latch. So it just has to be mounted so that the striker and everything is all within the same envelope.
Okay, thank you. And finally, how tight a bend is acceptable for a rotary cable?
Yeah, that's important. And really a lot, it depends on the application and how long the cable is. But our recommendation is 2 inches or 50 millimeters. Once you get much tighter than that, then you might have trouble with the cable returning back and forth. But again, it really depends on the application. Some applications that have really, really long cables, you might want it to maybe not be that tight. But that's why we offer these prototype parts that are available, so you could try it in your solution and see how it works.
That's fantastic. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. But as I said earlier, if we haven't had time to answer your question, we will be handing those questions on to Southco, and they will be answering them for you offline. And with that, it really just remains for me to say thank you so much to Cindy today for such an excellent presentation. And also thank you very much to everyone who's joined us today. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.